Okay. Okay, fellas. Um, this is the Honeymoon Haunting. I forgot about this story actually until I saw something recently on YouTube. So here you go. Also of note, side note, um, again, I'm not a technical person. I don't know how to get a whole bunch of ratings and so forth on YouTube. Um, a lot of my videos, I have 0 views right now. So then, you know, one might ask oneself, why would I continue? Well, I find it interesting to document these stories. Um, I find that they're quite interesting and not too, again, I said in the beginning, not too many people have as many wild, bizarre experiences that I have had. And perhaps later on, we get more following, more traction, and a couple of years from now, to start picking up, and people may find something interesting or relative to my story, something that they can relate to and start adding, which was the original point of this whole thing. So this story, again, so I saw something on YouTube the other day, and this sort of reminded me to go ahead and talk about this. The story's not too long, but some of you may find it fascinating. So basically, let's see, back in 95, I got married at the time, and we lived out of the Baton Rouge, Louisiana area, and just north of, once again, Covington and Folsom, where Theo Vaughn is from Covington. So roughly 10 to 20 miles north is a small little thing called Folsom. It's when you say Folsom, it covers a large area outside in the countryside. They have one red light, and that's it. Anyway, out there's a guy. Well, actually, there's several people from New Orleans that had money that, over a period of time, started to go out there and buy some land, and because it's some beautiful areas. One such guy was an attorney from New Orleans that retired. He took his money out there, bought some land, and started building. He built one house for himself, and then he started building these little cabins alongside this creek bed, and then he started renting them out like an Airbnb. Okay, sounds good. Somehow or another, I came across his information, and we went ahead and set up a date and time for the honeymoon, and everything was set up and on track. So when we got there, if you've seen my other videos, you'll see that 10, 15 years later, I ended up moving out there, which, I had no way of knowing that would happen. And but at this time in 1995, I don't know anything really about this area at all. Okay. So as best I can describe to you, his property, you exit off of kind of a main highway, or maybe we could say a blacktop highway. So you exit off of there, and then you go down a little piece, someone's land, and then you enter through a piece of land that's gated. So which is his. So his land is a piece of land within a piece of land, if if that makes sense. Okay. So from there, when you come in, it's not too much before you come in and get to see him and the cabins. Okay. So he has, if I remember, 2 or 3 cabins up against the creek bed, and his house is to the right. So to give you a little description, he has, although we didn't go inside, he has a nice 2-story house, and there's a lot of glass, which makes sense. So you can look around at the river, and the property is real pretty, almost like being in Arkansas or the Carolinas almost. And so he has that, and again, he's got smaller cabins. They're kind of like I think there's 2 A-frames, and the one we were in was almost like an A-frame, not quite, but it was around, let's say, 800 square feet. Really nice, kind of not necessarily a log cabin, if I remember correctly. It's been a while, but it was, clearly a cabin of in the woods or the country kind of thing. It's really nice, and it sits on the river / creek bed with the overlooking decking that goes in the back. And so to describe this, so as soon as you open the front door, you walk into to the kitchen, okay? And to the right is a built-in seating area, and to the left is the kitchen. And then and on top of you, on the ceiling directly above you is a loft, okay? And then you walk out through a little bitty hallway that's about 4 to 6 foot long. It's really nothing. And then you open and you walk right into this big, huge room, open room with a very high ceiling, high vaulted ceiling that is your living room area. And out front, in front of you, is a big, huge glass wall that again opens up and looks out to the woods and the creek bed. And to the left of you is another small hallway with 1 or 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. And then if you step to the right, there's these stairs. It's more like a ladder that goes straight up and into this loft. Now, in hindsight, I don't know how we ended up in the loft. I don't know if we were told to sleep in the loft. I don't remember that. And versus why in the hell would we climb up this ladder and go up there compared to a bedroom to the left that we didn't even see existed till later. But nonetheless, we were up in the loft. Okay. So to set the scene again, so we were married in the afternoon and we drove all the way out here. So we got here towards the sunset, and the host comes out. At first, there was, nothing really to make of that. It was all standard, if you will. He was, came across as a decent, good host. So he comes in and he brings some homemade bread and some wine, and some, food, edible type things to eat off of. And like wine and cheese and that kind of stuff. And he visited for a little bit. And that was it. You know, it was nice. Not too little, not too much, just right. Came across as a good, nice host. And then the truth be told, we were exhausted. And this was, um, I want to say, uh, maybe 5, 6 o'clock, and something like that. Okay. And so so he left. Okay. And then right after that, we immediately went upstairs, and we just fell straight to sleep. We were exhausted. We didn't unpack anything. We didn't get undressed. We just crashed right there. Um, I don't know if we even pulled the covers back or something, but we were exhausted. We just passed out right there. And sometime later, I want to say 30 minutes to an hour later, for some reason, I just kind of remember an hour, we both suddenly woke up, which I found odd. Um, we both heard something at the same time, and we both awoke. Um, Instead of a typical scenario where one person may wake and hear something and then try to wake the other person, but in this case, we both heard something. We both awoke at the same time. We popped up, you know, listening for what that was, and what we heard um, was someone below us in the kitchen area, cleaning, washing, moving around all over the place, walking back and forth. And it sounded like they were washing dishes, cleaning the kitchen. Um, so at first, our first thought was, well, the host, he's come back, and and he's trying to be a super host, and he's washing all the dishes and maybe preparing a dinner or something. I don't know. So our first thought was that's what he was doing. And, again, he's trying to be super host. Um, and then we quickly put two and two together and said, well, that's crazy and creepy, because he knows that we're in here by ourselves, uh, and on our honeymoon. So why in the world would he be down here? And why would he have snuck back in or at will let himself in? So that's not right. That's not cool. And so I kind of peered down and said, reached out, saying, hello, how you doing? Who's that? Are you, is that you? And we get no response. And then all of that activity stopped. So my next challenge was, okay, so what was all that, and who or what was responsible for it? Now, normally, if you have activities going on in your room or your home, you kind of open your door and you kind of just simply walk. When you transition out of your room, you just simply walk out. But in this case, again, we had a ladder kind of thing, not even a stairwell. And so I didn't know how to get down the stairwell. I'm sorry, the ladder, and in such a way that I would be vulnerable in the process of transitioning my way down, and in case someone there would have been ready to attack us. So I did the best I could, basically kind of just jumped down, and then I looked around. I didn't see anything. That's how I knew that there was even a bedroom. I didn't know that there was even the other side of the house. housing with the bedroom and bathroom on the other side until I started searching around. And I didn't see anything, nothing, not a squirrel, not a raccoon, not a cockroach, nothing. And no signs of someone coming in, no signs of someone having left, no signs of anyone in the kitchen. So we don't know what to do. So we try to start playing out things in our head and guessing, what could this be? And I'm like, well, I have a new bride. We're out in the country. Truth be told, especially at that time, I didn't even know where I was. Like no clue. Okay. And uh, but what I did know was that we were, again, like I said, in a property within a property that had a gate to get through and navigate. And what I do know is that I don't know this guy. You know, he may be some total creep, some mass murderer, and he may have this whole place wired with cameras and whatever else. I don't know. What kind of creep this guy is. I don't know. And but what I did know was two things. One, I don't know anything about him, and I don't want to err, or I'd rather err on the side of caution. And the second thing was, if I was to make a break for it, I barely had some kind of light, sunlight, barely left. So I ran outside. I checked out the car, underneath it, all around it as best I can to make sure he didn't booby trap or mess with the car in such a way. And thank goodness, like I said, we didn't even, I don't think we even got undressed. And I know we didn't unpack anything. So we just threw our bags downstairs and just about a minute or two, we got everything, whatever we had, into the car and just left. And so about 20 miles down the road, I found a hotel in Covington, a Holiday Inn or something. And I called him and said, hey, I don't know what's going on over there. But we're gone and I'm not coming back. So, and that was that. To this day, I don't know where it is. I don't know what it was. I'm sorry again. Most of my experiences came before cell phones. I didn't have a video recorder with me. Even if I did, like I said, we were sleeping, and awoke to all this, and then listened to it for a little while, but still no recording devices with us. I wasn't prepared for that. So that's it. That's the end of that story. If you find that interesting, if you can relate to it, please comment. And hope you have a great day. Thank you.